Phone repair. Welcome, Kyle. Welcome to Clinton.
Yeah, thank you guys. It's honestly been such a great start so far, and we feel so welcomed by the community.
All right. Tell us a little about.
Before we get to that,
that's
though,
right.
we always have to get your Super Bowl picks. So I don't know if you're a big football fan or not, but
Fortunately, not too much.
okay. Well, I can tell you, New England is playing Seattle. So if you don't know anything about it,
one pick or the other, and it's
yeah.
All right, let's go for Seattle.
There you
Okay,
go.
Seattle. So
And
that wraps
you're
up.
with the majority of the people. What was the final
So
tally
our,
on
our
that?
final
today?
tally is 17 taking Seattle and 5 people took New England.
Really?
So
Yeah, I'm somewhat of a Steelers fan, but I mostly just keep up with the scores. If I can actually go to a game, that's a little more enjoyable, but
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. Well, there you go. So
And we like to just ask that because it's kind of the ties in with the men's day,
Yeah.
because most men
The theme,
follow
right.
football. And of course, you'll get ads in the Super Bowl then when we have the game on for you. So
That's right.
all ties in together.
everything. Imagine
all
how that
planned.
all just falls into place like it's planned.
Yep, exactly.
Well, let's find out a little more about your business. Computer repair.
Yeah,
You
so-
repair.
So in the past, we've kind of gone over with you guys how we do phone repairs, and I feel like we've really hit the ground running with that. We got a lot of people knowing that we do that, but one thing a lot of our customers are still surprised about is we also handle computer repairs. And that can be anything from, I would say the most common is virus removal. So if you get those pesky pop-ups and you try to power it down and they just keep popping up again, we can get rid of the viruses as well as make sure you're updated on your antivirus to prevent that in the future. Besides that, I would say the next most common one is going to be like hard drives failing. A lot of times, especially these days, because you know how the companies are, they make them last just past the warranty.
Oh,
The
yes.
3-year warranty, well, 3 years and 1 day later, it goes
That's
kaput.
right.
So with that in mind, that's one of the other most popular ones, and especially at my other 2 locations in Illinois, we focus a lot on doing hard drive replacements, and that's for residential customers as well as business customers. We even offer some remote support options for them as well.
All right. Moving on, we have regular phone repairs. I know you get a lot of that as well.
So for the most part, phone repairs, I would say, come down to screens, batteries, and charging ports. Those are some of the most common ones. I mean, we do run into software or actual motherboard level errors, which is something we also handle as well. I've had a few people stop in and they weren't aware that we handled liquid damage. Now, there's no guarantees with liquid damage, but if we're not able to repair it, we're not going to be charging it.
Right.
So we'll take a look, assess the damage, and see if it's viable and economical to recover that data, because a lot of people still don't have cloud set up or the backups through iCloud or Google, and they have a lot of sensitive photos or stuff that, like you have your childhood photos or
Right,
photos of your
right.
kids dating back a decade that's been transferred from phone to phone, and we can sometimes find solutions even if we can't repair the device fully to actually recover those, get them onto a flash drive or whatever else you need, and a little bit more stable of a backup setup as well.
I know some people are so used to their current phone, and then something happens to it, and they really don't want to get a new phone, but yet they don't know if they can get their phone fixed, and that's where they can stop by. And you
Exactly.
can have a look at it and see if it's worth fixing or if it's better off getting a new phone. right?
Exactly, and transparency is our number one thing. So especially with how I train my guys, if you bring in, like let's say it's an $80 phone. If you tell me you're not worried about the data and the part alone is $70, well, I'm going to let you know that you may want to look into a new device.
Right.
But especially with the prices of certain models getting upwards of $1,000 now, there's a lot of repairs that can be done before it would really be worth it to upgrade, especially if you're on one of the newer generations within the past 5 years.
Right. And it doesn't matter if it's a flip phone or normal phone.
No, but yeah, we'll do pretty much any phone. I'd say like the biggest thing with flip phones, I do less like screen repairs. People seem to be a little more gentle on the screens on those,
Right.
which is curious. But the biggest one is actually batteries. So because especially
yeah.
just charging it overnight, wear and tear. I mean, you have the same phone for X amount of years. It goes on the charger every night at 8 p.m., gets off at 6 a.m. Well, that's like leaving your car on or, something like that. It's just deteriorating.
Yeah.
So we try to keep most of the major ones in stock because especially with the flip phones, I can have you out the door within 5 minutes. The other phones, they do make them water resistant now, so that does require a little more fine tuning, but realistically most repairs are an hour to an hour and a half, and we keep a lot of parts in stock. And if we have to special order it, all of our pricing includes next day air shipping, exempt of batteries just because we can only do 2-day ground with those guys.
Right. And all of those are in-house repairs. You do them at the location of the store then.
Exactly. The only ones that we have to do at my Rock Falls location are the micro soldering repairs, because I have one specialist who works with high-end equipment, and we just kind of have that as the central hub in between both of our other locations, and we end up getting it to him. It's not much of a drive, so half the time we don't like to ship them just because that feels unsecure. So a lot of times I'll just head over after hours, meet up, maybe buy one of my guys dinner or something, and have them drop it off at the store and return. And
little bribe there, but
hey, goes a long way.
We appreciate it. That's right. Well, I know Paul's one of these gaming, so you do
gaming consoles as well.
Gaming consoles.
Yes. So a little bit of everything with those. I would say the biggest ones, especially on the newer generation, are going to be like your HDMI ports. Whether that's your kid, your dog, or anything like that gets tied up in the cable. I just got a cat, and that thing is obsessed with the back cables of my console. I had to move the whole system because it knocked it over the other day.
Sound familiar, Paul?
We've had cats knock them over, or they love to chew the wires. Oh, yeah. Love to chew the wires.
Fingers crossed. I've had her about a week, little Alice, but oh my gosh, she is crazy. So we'll see how that goes.
And a typical HDMI cable you can buy replacement easily, but if it's a cable specifically designed for specific gaming console, is that something you can get replacement parts for?
Yeah, most definitely. I would say it's less the cables that need replaced, though. They do need replaced, but a lot of times it's actually the ports. So
Right.
on the newer generation of console, one of the things they tried to avoid that happened on the past generation was when the cord got tugged by, an animal or something as such and it broke, the solder that holds that port on was too strong and would actually break the board.
Wow.
So
Okay.
they kind of backpedaled with that and they use a lower grade solder, but in turn now it's a lot easier to pop the port off, where you don't necessarily have full on, like a chip off your motherboard, but you
Right.
are missing that component, and we're going to have to take it completely apart and re-solder that on a micro level.
Right. And you can do that at the store then?
That's the ones we would have to send off to the Rock Falls,
Rock
but that
Falls.
is still one of our locations, yes.
Awesome. Great to know.
That is very good to know. We about a weather break here coming up.
Yeah, if you want to do one, I know we're hitting you with your cold, but we have our guests read these because it's kind of neat to be so I've kind of...
You get to be our weather person.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Alrighty, let me know when I'm ready.
So anytime you're ready, you begin there.
Alrighty. It's time now on KROS for the Storm Track 8 weather forecast, brought to you by Kelly Heating and Air.
Happy Friday. We are still going to be cold today with highs only in the teens, but we will be quiet. There is going to be building clouds with a little bit of a breeze with gusts as high as 25 miles per hour as we head into the afternoon. Still in store for a cold night, but we'll start to see warming temperatures into the weekend. Highs go to the 20s for Saturday. I'm Storm Track 8 meteorologist Morgan Strackbine.
Currently, we have cloudy with light snow, a temperature of 16 degrees. Winds are out of the northeast at 17 miles per hour, but it feels like 0. The weather report on KROS has been brought to you by Kelly Heating and Air.
Why do customers trust Kelly? Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning goes above and beyond with a maintenance service agreement. For one low annual cost, you can save 5% on repairs, have priority scheduling, and no overtime fees. Plus, it helps avoid costly future repairs. And if you need a new Bryant whole home comfort system, Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning has many different financing options to get you up and running, whatever it takes. Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning in Clinton, your Bryant factory authorized dealer.
Total Phone Repair in Clinton is your one-stop shop for repairs on phones, gaming consoles, tablets, computers, and more. Their team of experts will restore your devices with speed, precision, and at a price that won't break the bank. Whether it's a cracked screen, damaged HDMI, or a battery that won't hold a charge, they've got you covered. Stop by Total Phone Repair, 1663 Lincoln Way, Clinton. Call 563-241-3401. Open 11 to 6, Tuesday through Saturday.
Welcome back to Men's Day. Again, our final interview of the day. And again, we've got Kyle Lockwood from Total Phone Repair. We just heard the ad there. And, I love that it mentions the phones that won't hold a charge anymore. You guys can swap out the batteries on those, because if you have a phone you really like and you don't want to just get a new one. But it's like anything in technology. They keep upgrading the things, and eventually it gets to the point where, well, your phone won't upgrade anymore, and then you got to get a new one. But
yeah, and a lot of devices are like that. I've had a few customers recently, though, where they've been bringing in, 8-9-year-old phones, and I'm very impressed with how well they've taken care of them. Like, first drops, stuff like that. Because especially at my other locations, I feel like usually, especially with the old ones, you can tell it's been replaced a few times. There's little bangs on the edges that weren't buffed out properly. But, yeah.
And of course, the cracked and chipped, screens and stuff.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, exactly.
Watch those fingers.
That's right. Be very careful. Smartwatches.
Yeah, so smartwatches are another repair we offer as well. I would say the main one on that is going to either be your battery or your screen. So especially with Apple and Galaxy, we can get those parts next day ordered, but much like I said with the battery previously, usually that'll be 2-day.
Right.
I do keep some of the latest models in stock just to be safe, but usually we can get those guys once we have the part in the device. We'll have them knocked out in about an hour and a half, and that goes for most of our repairs. We try to be within an hour to an hour and a half. Sometimes we're less. That's just kind of giving us a buffer in case we have people stopping in, phone calls, questions, a little bit of that jazz, just to make sure we keep you on track so you can get back to using your device as soon as possible.
So really, with even with a smartwatch or your phone, I guess, you could swing by, drop it off in the morning, and then come back later in the afternoon and
pick it up.
Could pick it up, be finished.
Exactly. I've had people do that. They'll stop in right before work and then just come back right after. And, we try to be as flexible as possible. We're open Saturdays for a reason, but if you need, us to stay a little later, we don't mind. We're here to help you.
All right. We'll get to those hours also a little later. What else we want to talk about besides the watches then?
Yeah, so voice over IP phone systems. Now, this is something we've been offering for, I would say, the better half a decade now. So pretty much they're an internet-based phone system. So instead of dealing with the old school phone lines,
the landlines, right?
It is all through your internet and your router. One of the benefits of this, for one, is that right now, especially with a couple of the providers, they have started increasing prices because they aren't too happy with having to still maintain phone lines because everyone who did it retired.
Right.
So,
and nobody's going into that.
Yeah, exactly. So even like Comcast and a few of the other ones have started pushing their own voiceover systems for residential. But what we offer is more for businesses.
Okay.
So it gives them a lot of functionality in terms of they have a web page they can pull up and adjust anything and everything. So if you want to change the ringtone, you're out of the country and you want to change the ringtone randomly on one of your phones, you could do that just to mess with one of your guys. The other owner of Total Phone has actually done that.
I was just gonna say it sounds like maybe you're talking from experience, right?
Yes, I am. It's a nice little break from the hustle and bustle, but it also has practical because when we set up these systems, we like to call it the white glove treatment. Because we're going to walk you through these steps. We're going to show you how to adjust these things. So if you don't want to have to wait for us, or it's 3 a.m. on a Sunday, you need to change your hours real quick, you had someone call in sick, you're able to do that on the fly. You can even set it up with protocols to be able to, like the normal hold and all that jazz.
Right.
But one of the biggest benefits we've seen with it, and I even have this on my phone system, is when you call and have, press 1 or press 2. The point of that isn't necessarily to get you always to the right person. The main thing is that most of the bots and spam calls will be halted when they have to press a button. So in doing that, we would get upwards of 20 a day spam calls after hours.
Wow.
And by adding that, because when we first came to the area, we were like, you should be fine, right? It's a small enough town. No.
Right.
We
No.
got like 20 a day through the night of just
Wow.
spam calls. So as soon as we added that, I mean, maybe one gets through at most. So I would say that's one of the key benefits people really latch
Definitely.
onto, is not having to listen to a million voicemails that are static or some robotic voice telling you your taxes are due and it's the middle of September and you're like, I don't think this
I
is
don't
right.
think so.
One of the other great things about it, and this I take great advantage of, is the cell phone capabilities. So you're actually able to download an app. So that way, if you have to, let's say you do on-site work, and I have like my guys out of my Rockford and Rock Falls location, we do on-site computer repairs. Well, when I send my guys out, I don't want them having to call a customer directly from their cell phone and giving out that info,
Right.
just because it's their personal
It's their-
number,
right.
as well as if they do unknown number, that kind of looks a little weird. With the app, you're actually able to choose which extension. So I could choose from any of the phone numbers we have under our repertoire and call any number from that, as well as it has texting capabilities. So if I have a customer who, is hearing impaired, I'm able to easily communicate exactly what's going on with the device in a more prompt manner than, like I know Google has the AI translate and stuff
Right,
like that, but
right.
that can be a little tiresome at times, I know.
Perfect. All right. What else do we have?
Sounds like just a tremendous amount of different options and features that you offer to folks. So it's not just phone repair, but
Right.
it's total phone repair because of all the other things
Exactly.
you offer too. So that is pretty great. That you've been open now for about how long?
So we've been open since about the beginning of August. So
Okay.
a few months now. It's definitely started to pick up. I've noticed people are starting to realize we're in the area. We're kind of down a hill. So I
Right.
feel like that's
Right.
working against us. I'm going to actually talk to the city once it like thaws and be like, can I put a little flag there? Like, hey,
Yeah,
get it
come
fixed
on in.
here. But word of mouth has just spread like crazy. And I would say that's been our number one thing besides obviously you guys
Right.
and, promoting us
Yep.
on the radio. That has been wonderful. And we've just had such great experience with the community. I really prefer to stay in smaller local towns. I feel like it can be more personable. I do
Right.
enjoy my Rockford store, don't get me wrong, the hustle and bustle.
Right.
But Rockford's about as big as Davenport. You got like 160,000 people and everyone's on the fly. Whereas here,
Right.
like even you have stopped in and
Right,
we've just
yeah.
had a little bit of a chit chat in between
Yep.
repairs and stuff as such.
Exactly.
And, you can just build that community, and I think that's awesome. We even talked with, we're looking into supporting, I think I was actually talking to you about it, where they do the Halloween lights. Because I brought up the
Yes.
Christmas ones and us doing the decor there, so
Yeah, yeah.
we're hoping to get involved with that a little bit as well.
Yeah, and you saw a need in this community. This would be a perfect, because I know trying to find your locations, what do you look for and what?
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing is just, at least with this instance, our other two locations were launched inside of previously established computer repairs, and then we branched into the phone repairs. But I think the biggest thing we were looking for was a smaller community where we could, take care of our customers, take our time with it, and, somewhere where it was needed.
Right.
I think the closest one besides us is maybe 40 miles. Like, it's Davenport area for sure.
Right,
And
right.
I went around to a lot of the cellular places and was talking to them about where they send people. And a lot of them were sending them all the way to Davenport. And a lot of customers weren't happy about that. I mean, if they bought the phone
Oh, yeah.
yesterday,
Right.
they accidentally drop it. It feels, and it's not the cellular people's fault. They don't have the repairs there, but it's
Right,
also not the
right.
customer's fault either.
Right.
So we like to be able to provide that commodity for them to be able to get it done locally. And hopefully, with most repairs, we're able to do them same day and just get you out the door. I had a gentleman stop in yesterday, wanted a battery replacement. And we just ended up chit-chatting the whole time, probably took 40 minutes because I had a little downtime on the phone calls. And we were able to just get it knocked out. And he was actually still rocking a S9. So
Wow.
yeah, that one was still chugging along. I was very impressed. He took good care of that guy. Haven't seen one of those in a while. And in regards to that, I'd say the other thing is, maintenance.
Yeah.
Just on devices. Keeping up with it is really beneficial. So take iPhones, for instance. The batteries over time deteriorate. And the nice part about Apple is a lot of times it tells you in the settings when it's time to change the battery. One of the reasons it does this is because of how the device is sealed, they actually have set screws. So if the battery starts to expand, because as it deteriorates, it emits gas and it starts to bubble. I've seen them get 5 times the size they were. The issue with this is if your phone is secured down with adhesive as well as screws, well, what's going to happen to your screen when pressure is sent straight through the middle? So I've seen it crack the screen. I've seen it destroy the motherboard. And so we recommend keeping an eye on that. I would say, probably about every 5 years at least, we recommend getting those replaced just to be safe. Just to make sure. I mean, most other thing is just commodity. You got a nick on your screen. As long as it doesn't look like it's down to the pixels, it's not a huge deal if it's just a scratch. But that's another thing. If you have like a deep gash down the screen and then you go to the beach or you get caught in a rainstorm, well, if that gets into the electrical system, there is a chance of board damage, even though it's not reaching the board directly, because it is short-circuiting the screen that is tied to the board. You may in turn fry the device, and then you're looking at a much more expensive repair in the future.
Right. Or a new phone completely.
Yeah, that as well sometimes. And that just goes for any device.
Oh, it
though.
does.
I mean,
Does. Yeah, exactly.
Computers as well, like virus removal, stuff like that. Because I would say with computers, as long as you don't see your cursor moving around, you're usually pretty good. But like with just general cleanups, it really does speed up the process.
All right, we're running out of time here, and we know you have a song that you chose.
Yeah, so today we're going to be playing Mr. Telephone Man by New Edition.
That's right. Kyle from Total Phone Repair here in Clinton. And again, let's hours and days of the week you're...
Yeah, so we're currently open Tuesday through Saturday. Tuesday through Friday, we're there 10 to 6. And on Saturday, we're there 10 to 5.
All right. So there you go. There's your hours. And again, if they have any questions, they can stop by, get a hold of you, or if they just bring their phone in and you can look at it and then kind of lead them in what direction they need to go.
Exactly. We offer free diagnostics, so give us a call anytime at 563-241-3401.
Perfect. Well, thanks for coming in. We
Yeah,
appreciate it.
thank
Thanks
you
for being
guys.
part of the Clinton community as well.
Yeah, it's been wonderful.
And that is going to wrap it up for our Men's Day today. And we thank everyone for listening. We've been recording these videos and posting them on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. And I'm about 5 videos behind. But hopefully before the end of the day, I'll get them all up there. So we can go there and check it out on our socials here at KROS. Thanks for listening, everyone. We're going to jump into the news, and then we'll get the last half hour of the Ramsey Show.
Radio Iowa, I'm Dar Danielson. Iowa House Democrat leader Brian Myers says a silent majority of Iowans want a carbon pipeline built in the state, and he says the Senate Republican leader has proposed a resolution that will end the stalemate.
I think it's probably the most likely to pass with maybe some tweaking around the edges.
That Senate Republican plan would allow